What's up, everybody? Joe White here, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about TNA Genesis. Man, what a Genesis it was last night. I gotta say, this is the first TNA pay-per-view that I have ordered in about maybe... Golly, it's been a while. It has been... I have not purchased a TNA pay-per-view since Anthem has owned the company. Let's put it that way. But I did want to talk a little bit about the pay-per-view last night and some things that people are saying coming out of it. Let me go ahead and start at the beginning. Having the busted open guys there to me was kind of a meh, you know? I'm sorry, but you should not be allowing these guys to be a part of your business. The problem I have with Busted Open is that people like a Dave LaGreca surround themselves with people who are in the business, and then they think they want to be a part of the business. As a wrestling radio show on Sirius Satellite Radio, to me, you should be a little bit more critical. And they're not. They are just yes men. They put over everything. They don't really sit there and criticize any of the products at all. Everything's just sunshine and rainbows to them. I honestly don't like the I mean, if you can listen to Dave LaGreca, then you're obviously a Vince Russo fan. That's the way I feel about it. I just can't listen to Dave LaGreca's voice for more than 20 minutes without wanting to gouge my eyes out. And I'm sure there's some people that are going to go in the comments, I can say the same thing about your southern voice, you stupid Mark. I don't care. Anyway, I just didn't like the fact that those guys were there. You know, it would be like if Dave Meltzer all of a sudden started joining the, if Dave Meltzer started joining the AEW broadcast team. I would have a fit over that as well. You got to set boundaries. Let me see here. I'm going to go down the results of this, and then I'm going to go down some of the things here that I wrote down about this pay-per-view. Let's see. Jake Something defeated Ashanti the Adonis, who came in from NXT for this. I think Jake Something should be defending Ashanti the Adonis. So, the very first match of this official partnership. Yes, they did some stuff last year. But this first match of this first official partnership, and I don't care if it's on the pre-show or not, give credit where credit is due. A TNA guy went over. That says something. It was an okay match. Only lasted about 4 minutes. It did what it needed to do. Frankie Kazarian defeated Leon Slater by pinfall. Again, this went about 9 minutes. Typical Frankie Kazarian match. Nothing really bad to say about it. Moose kicked off the show with Alicia Edwards and JDC defeating Ace Austin by pinfall. I liked this match. This match went about 15 minutes, and Ace Austin really did show me something here. But there was a lot of TNA tropes, if you know what, if you've been following TNA since the beginning, that happened during this match. Their audio, first of all, is horrible. Man. And their commentary team is horrible as well. I do not like TNA's commentary team. I know the one guy used to be part of the, I believe he was part of, let me check here. Yeah, he used to be Aiden English. So right now it's Tom Hennepin and Matthew Raywalt. I don't like this guy. He sounds like the guy, I'll just call him Aiden English. It's easier to pronounce. He sounds like Kermit the Frog doing commentary. He really does. When I very first started, like I did catch a couple of episodes of Impact here and there. When I first heard him without knowing who it actually was, I thought it was Disco Inferno on commentary. Until I realized, no, this is just way worse. I actually have some respect for Disco, but anyway. And Tom Hennepin just does not do a really good job at all. I really preferred back when way back when it was Josh Matthews and Don Callis on the call, which they haven't done it in 4 years. But I'll put it to you this way: since they stopped doing it in March of 2020, they've went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because they did through January 13th through January 20th. There was like a week where they did or a couple weeks where they did various commentators. So that's 5. They've gone through 5 different renditions of the commentary team in 4 years. Then again, look at what WWE's doing to Corey Graves. But anyway, getting back to the actual pay-per-view itself, I liked Moose versus Ace Austin. I was kind of hoping they would go ahead and give the win to Ace Austin, but when they said that it was a new belt being debuted by Moose, I'm just sitting there going, "There's no that Moose had this new championship commissioned. There's no way they're going to have a storyline where a guy's debuting a new belt all on his own and then he instantly loses it. It just doesn't make sense." Then that kind of faded into Eric Young and Steve Macklin defeating the System, which is Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, by pinfall. They only went about 7.5 minutes here. It was okay. It was there. Spitfire, Jody Threat, and Danny Luna defeating Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance by pinfall. I like this for what it was. I mean, Ash by Elegance still has a long way to go in this business, and I didn't really know who Heather by Elegance was. Again, I'm not a real avid TNA watcher. I like a lot of people, was watching this because NXT was involved or going to be involved. But I like the Spitfire team. That Danny Luna, man, impressed me. Really impressed me. Danny Luna did. Then we come to Tessa Blanchard defeating Jordynne Grace, and all I could say is the crowd was kind of meh all night long, except for 2 matches. The Tessa Blanchard, Jordynne Grace match, and then Joe Hendry versus Nick Nemeth. And we'll get to Nick Nemeth and Hendry here in a little bit. But the crowd here, what the fuck are you people thinking? Chanting, "She's a racist." What the hell? Why can't you, this whole bit of cancel culture, we have half of the country, over half of the country, who just voted for a man who has said some pretty messed up things in his day. Some of which are probably in this TNA very well, may be a part of the TNA locker room. And yes, I know Blanchard left them high and dry. She went and ran. And yes, I know about the racist comments and all that. But these two had a hell of a match. Even though the crowd were just a bunch of freaking morons. This is where I say, the wrestling business has been ruined. There are no more casual fans. Casual fans are never coming back. Not when they can instantly go online, type in Tessa Blanchard's name, and instantly they're smart to certain aspects of the business that, before the internet age, we would have never known about. Before social media, we would have in cancel culture, we would have never known about any of these allegations facing Tessa Blanchard. That's all there is, allegations. They have no proof. All they have is somebody's word. And it's a he said, she said type thing. None of us were there. None of us knows what was really said. Now, Tessa could come out and say, "Hey, if I've ever offended you or whatever with anything I may have said, I'm sorry." But, for the crowd to sit there, that's why I don't go to wrestling shows anymore. Because you can't just go to a wrestling show and enjoy it for a bit being a show. You got to have these smart morons in there ruining it for everybody else. They're ruining it. Look at what happened to that guy. Oh, shoot, I forget his name every damn time. Hold on, give me a second here. Marty Scurll, that's his name. Look at what happened to Marty Scurll. He allegedly, again, allegedly, said did some awful things, and this guy now who was probably should be in AEW right now, or at least New Japan. Hadn't really. I think he now has a podcast. Who doesn't? That's right, Dave. Everybody's got a podcast, even you. Because you, Dave Meltzer, we'll get to him. Never mind. We'll get there. Dave, you are a podcaster now. You jump on you just put it behind a paywall, and always have. But anyway, I swear. Getting back to Jordynne Grace and Tessa Blanchard, this was Jordynne Grace's last match in TNA. She's earned the right to go to WWE. I like Jordynne Grace's work, but I do have some opinions on Jordynne Grace that I will not air because it may get me canceled. And it may, because heaven forbid you should share an opinion. And people will chastise you for that opinion. So I'm not going to give my opinion here. I'm just going to say that I thought this was an excellent match. I am happy that Jordynne Grace put the professional back in professional wrestling. And, did business. That's why it's called professional wrestling. She did business. She put over Tessa Blanchard on the way out. Tessa Blanchard now is more elevated. Tessa Blanchard is now one of the standards of women's wrestling in TNA as far as TNA goes. Do I think they'll ever use her in NXT now? Probably not after tonight. Not after the way that crowd daggone treated her. Because they're worried about it spreading. So, to all you idiots there in Dallas, thank you for screwing over a good talent. Because regardless of what she's done in the locker room, when it comes to what she's done in the ring, whenever she's actually there in the ring, Tessa Blanchard actually does good. Now, I'm not defending any racist comments she may or may not have made. Do I think she maybe needs to come out there and do some kind of public apology or whatever? No, because quite frankly, what goes on in the locker room is none of our business. And when you have other wrestlers, when Tessa Blanchard goes out there and tries to kind of turn over a new leaf and say, hey, let's all support women's wrestling, and then you have women's wrestlers, instead of saying, yeah, let's all support women's wrestling, going, yeah, except for you, and airing out the dirty laundry on Twitter and Facebook and wherever else, it does not help the business any. All it does is make you look just as petty, just as vindictive, just as stupid. Mike Santana defeated Josh Alexander in an I Quit match. The Northern Army, Judas Icarus, and Travis Williams was banned from ringside. This was okay. It wasn't anything special. It did not elevate Mike Santana to me. Josh Alexander's still better, but Alexander said not only did he, after the match, goes, not only do I quit, I'm going to shake your hand, but I also quit TNA. And then Santino Marella, why is this fucking guy on TV? Why is Santino Marella on TV in 2025? If there was anybody that needed to be off television, it's him. Anyway, his daughter can stay. He has to go. Santino Marella has come out and said on Twitter that, oh, you're under contract, you have to appear, so you're going to appear this coming Thursday. They're going live on Thursday, by the way. The Hardy Boys defeated the Rascals. Surprise, surprise here. And they even make mention that since September, the Rascals have been quote-unquote number one contenders to the NXT tag team titles. Axiom and Nathan Frazier came out, sat there, watched the match. The first time somebody dove on them or bumped into them, which you knew what was going to happen, they get up, start arguing, and they immediately get thrown out. So they were there for no reason except for to pop the crowd a little bit. They got a reaction, but anyway, it's a stupid way of booking it. But anyway, Now, if you would have had them sitting up on the stage watching the match, that's fine. Then you could have had them watching the entire match and left them out there. Would have kept people wondering, hey, are they going to get involved or not? But this was the Hardys doing... God, the Hardy Boys look old. They just look old. I know, I'm an old man myself. I just turned 40 about 11 days ago. So, but these guys are... Especially Jeff. Jeff is... And, well, the Matt, too. Matt, they both look old. And to see them doing the same shtick is just old. I hope to God that these two have a retirement run soon. I highly doubt it, though, because unless you're freaking falling apart, you wrestle until you die nowadays. But anyway, it was an okay match. Masa Slamovich defeated Rosemary in a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match. There was a lot of things in this. Like, why did they do the thumbtack spot up on the stage where nobody could see it? That makes no sense whatsoever. Unless they didn't want to clean up the ring afterwards, it made no sense. These two plundered around for about 14 minutes. It was what it was. I look at Masha Slamovich and I don't think hardcore wrestler. I think of her as the one to replace Jordan Grace as the big jacked up female wrestler. Rosemary's Rosemary. She plays her part well. It was an okay match. After this, Cora Jade came out, stared down Slamovich, says that she wants the TNA Women's title. It would be cool to see her and Roxanne carrying around the two top women's titles in their little division. Because for all intents and purposes, this partnership between TNA is using TNA as a feeder system for NXT. Let's call it like it is. Let's not kid ourselves here. That's what this is. And then Joe Hendry defeated Nick Nemeth, and people are all like, finally he got the title. Finally he got the title. And this is where I didn't like the match. Because I don't like Joe Hendry. You take away that theme song and have him come out to any other song but that. Any other song but one he's created. And he's nothing. He's absolutely nothing. I've said it before. You gotta have it in the ring too. You have got to have it in the ring too. And Joe Hendry to me is just average. There's nothing special about him. But yay, he finally got the title. Which brings me to my point about Joe Hendry here. Overall, this show was okay. It wasn't a mind-blowing show. I don't think it was worth $40 of my money. Because nothing really big happened with the NXT guys like they were advertising. Which they never advertised. They said NXT stars would probably be there. They never said that they would be wrestling. The fact that we got Ashanti the Adonis wrestling on the show baffled me. And again, I don't see where this partnership does anything good for TNA. Because at the end of the day, WWE is the bigger promotion. So they're going to get what they want out of the deal. And at the end of it, they're going to leave TNA looking like a crap show. So, Joe Hendry. Sorry. I have an idea for Hendry. And it's a way to kind of put TNA over at the same time. With me and Joe Hendry, everybody wants to talk about, Joe Hendry's going to be in the Rumble. Joe Hendry's going to be in the Rumble. Okay. But he's not going to win the Rumble. Come on. Let's get real. Let's come down to earth a little bit. The Rumble gives him a chance for an entire stadium to sing his song. Look, if you want an entire stadium to sing your song, go out there and be a musician full time. Don't do this. Because you're average. Joe Hendry, without that song, looks like a random CAW creator wrestler that somebody's created in the latest wrestling game. There's nothing about this guy from a physical standpoint from a looks standpoint, from a wrestling standpoint, that makes him he doesn't stand out. He does not have it. So I'm sitting there going, okay, now what? Now what happens to Hendry? Yay, he got his title. But my big thing in wrestling, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Who do you want to see face Joe Hendry? He's got the title. What do you want him to do? Just come out, sing his songs, and go away with the belt? No, this is professional wrestling. And at the end of the day, you have to wrestle. At the end of the day, you have to advance things. Sometime or another, he's going to have to lose that title. So here was my big Rumble idea. Yay, you got what you wanted. He won the belt. He's completely average. He doesn't make for a good champion. So here's what I would do. You got Frankie Kazarian walking around with this call your shot thing, which is their equivalent, I guess, of Money in the Bank. What if during the Royal Rumble he shows up, calls his shot, the match all of a sudden for the Royal Rumble, right in the middle of the Royal Rumble, and don't tell me, oh, it's the Royal Rumble, that idea is stupid. They've done goofier shit during the Rumble before. What if during the Rumble all of a sudden we got a TNA World Title match and Frankie Kazarian pins Joe Hendry in the Rumble. He's the new champion. And then he for good measure, he's going to toss Hendry out. Now you got a feud going. Because Hendry, okay, what does he do? Rematch against Nemeth? I don't want to see that. Didn't enjoy it the first time. Nick Nemeth last night, who should be a star, who should be treated like a bigger star, everybody knew, okay, Nemeth, you're here to take a couple bumps, make them look good, shine them up, and drop the belt. So if anything, this hurt Nick Nemeth greatly. And him going forward. Now, where does Nick Nemeth go from here? Maybe we see him back in WWE full time. Maybe this is Nick Nemeth's first match or last match in TNA. Maybe at the Rumble we see the return of Dolph Ziggler, and he's there to stay. Stars leaving TNA. Speaking of stars leaving here, we got... it's obvious that Josh Alexander's leaving. He's going to be a tremendous asset to NXT. If anything, he's above NXT and needs to be brought to the main roster. Jordynne Grace, of course, is going to have to elevate NXT because I think Roxanne Perez is leaving. She's been ready. So you're going to need her there, and not only that, she can go. Now, she did her farewell last night, and to credit again, Tessa Blanchard, somebody filmed this backstage. They're in the back. Jordynne Grace comes back through the curtain after losing. Tessa's already in the back. She gave Jordynne the ring to say her farewell to the crowd. Comes back, everybody's clapping, everybody's cheering. And instead of thanking Tessa Blanchard for the match, she just walks right by Tessa, doesn't even give her the time of day, and starts acknowledging everybody else in the locker room. And everybody's online. Oh, I'm glad you bypassed Tessa. Let's not forget, remember when Tessa was burning it up about 2 or 3 years ago? Actually, about 6 years ago, Tessa Blanchard was the hottest thing on the internet. People down there in Wrestle Circus, down there in Texas, were calling her Tessie Two Belts because she held 2 championships at the time. But no, because of some allegations, and because of knowing things that we shouldn't know, we got a chance she's a racist and try to cancel her. Even though statistically speaking, okay, if we're just going by statistics, about half the locker room voted for Donald Trump. So what does that say? Come on. Now, I'm not saying I know that for 100% sure before. You don't know Joe White. Stupid Mark Joe White. You don't know who voted for Trump. I'm saying statistically, If you go based off solely on statistics. There you go. Anyway. GCW is outdrawing AEW at the Hammerstein. The home of the bank addicted drug robber, as Jim Cornette calls him, is outdrawing AEW. You got one turd outshining another in the same arena in less than a month. Allie Katch, who I used to know as Allie Cat, phenomenal wrestler. She used to wrestle for CWF Mid-Atlantic a lot. She's a great wrestler and a great human being. Why she's wrestling for GCW other than a payday, I'll never know. It's garbage. She does a dive out of the ring, breaks her leg in 2 places, apparently. Not even 5 minutes goes by and somebody's setting up a GoFundMe for her injury. My thing is this, guys. I'm not going to pay for your fucking surgery, my dear. I'm sorry. I'm not going to chip in money to pay for your surgery. Go get health insurance like everybody else has. I'm sure you qualify for Obamacare or any other insurance policy out there. I'm sure somebody will cover you. You took the risk when you became a pro wrestler. You know what the deal is or was. You know the risks that you take. You're an independent contractor. I'm not going to chip in and pay. And you can call me a heartless bastard all you want to, guys. I'm sorry. If I get injured, are you guys going to pay for my shit? I wouldn't expect you to. But no. We're not even 24 hours removed, and already Steph DeLander's on there going, oh, go fund me. Go fund me, help her for her surgery. They're asking for $10,000 right out of the gate. That's a lot of money. You got people out here paying $3 a gallon for gas, 3 gallons a gallon of milk, $3 a gallon of milk. They're paying umpteen amount of money to go see you wrestle. And the second something goes wrong, oh, we need more from you. Sorry. It's a harsh world we live in. I would never, if I got injured and I was a pro wrestler, I would not start a GoFundMe for somebody to pay for my surgery. Obviously, you don't have any money saved up in an injury fund or a rainy day fund. Maybe instead of going out and running a bar tab up after the show, I'm not saying that's what Allie's done. I'm just saying in general. Maybe instead of going out and partying after the show or whatever, you go get yourself, some health insurance. Again, call me a heartless prick all you want to. I don't care. I'll delete the fucking comment. Nobody will see it. That's why I screen all my shit. I'll immediately hit delete. It does not affect me whatsoever mentally. It's not going to affect my mental health, all the comments. In fact, I'll save you guys. I don't care. You know the risks you take when you enter into that business. I know the risks that I take when I go out there. I drive a truck for a living. It's not the glamorous job in the world, but I know the risk. I know that when I go out there on that road, there's a very good chance that somebody could come along and hit me and kill me. Or come along and hit me and injure me. Guess what? I got health insurance. Got damn good health insurance. Somebody kills me, oh well. At least I know I'm doing something to help progress society a little bit. And before you rag on me for being a truck driver, I want you to look around you. Whatever device you're listening to this on, whatever groceries you have in your refrigerator, if you, as Jimmy Hoffa used to say, if you bought it, a truck brought it. So, fuck off. But that's what I feel. The way I feel about Allie Katch. She's a phenomenal wrestler. She's a phenomenal human being. I've met her many times. She's always been sweet to me. But I'm not going to pay for your surgery, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I'm not going to help. I'm not going to contribute to that because you know the risks. As they said in The Godfather Part 2, Hyman Roth looks to Michael Corleone and says, "This is the business we've chosen. I didn't ask who gave the order." Same thing applies here. This is the business you've chosen. Uncle Dave. I want to talk a little bit about Uncle Dave here. Meltzer going online saying, "Oh, bad booking does not exist in AEW," and him going on there going, "Oh, the TV deal, they're profitable, the TV deal." Dave, guess what, dude? I've said it many times on this channel. I'm gonna say it again. What is the limit for? Let me ask you this, Dave. Since I'm just a stupid podcaster, let me ask you, the man who claims to have all the answers. Let me ask you, Dave. What is the threshold? How far do the ratings have to fall before WBD looks at TNA looks at AEW and goes, "We're pulling the plug"? Why am I paying you to put this show on when I could put Batman v Superman, which has already been bought, paid for, and made money off of? May not be the greatest movie in the world, but it did make them money. They turned a profit on it. Are you turning a profit on AEW when no one's watching? Does it justify you spending that money? I wouldn't pay to do this podcast. I don't pay. Any YouTuber that says they have to pay for something when it comes to their channel, they're lying to you. I had to buy a microphone and a soundboard. The computer I already had. The internet I already have. The YouTube channel's free. And I chose to shell out that money, knowing that I would never get a return on my investment. How are they getting a return on their investment when the ratings are sinking? The ratings got so low on one show on Rampage, they dropped it. How do the ends justify the means when the ratings keep sinking? All the little podcasters, according to Dave Meltzer, these wrestling podcasters, these anti-AEW podcasters. when that line of thinking and that quote-unquote fan base, that pool of anti-AEW podcasters is growing. It's growing. The people who used to be pro-AEW, there's a lot of them now that are anti-AEW. And the reason is simple, dude. It's the fucking booking. It's the fucking booking. And you can sit there, Dave can sit there and go, "Well, it's the same booker. The booking's the same." No, it's not, dude. No, it's not. It is not the same booker. It is not the same booker. It's Tony the Snowman Khan. He's in charge. Dave can sit there and go, "Well, there is no booker." It's Tony Khan. And until Tony Khan gives up his power and steps away and realizes that all he has to do is sit back and collect, and he gives that book to somebody who cares, somebody who has experience, somebody maybe not even experience, somebody just knows what they're doing, and is not doing their action figure E-Fed booking. And Dave also hates the fact that he's wrong when for many years his precious New Japan Pro Wrestling, "If you could just bring this to the US, people would love it." Well, guess what, Dave? You got proved wrong. You're wrong. So, Dave, I want to know what the threshold is. What's the rating got to sink to before they pull the plug? Because guess what? They can do it. I'm sure there's an out clause there with WBD. WDB is looking to cut costs, and now they're hemorrhaging money, giving money to this cokehead who can't, doesn't know shite from Shinola about booking wrestling. And the ratings have never been lower for them. The ratings are in the toilet for them. I saw something online where somebody goes, oh, they achieved their best rating in the UK in 3 years. Whoop-de-doo. And then I sat there and see all these people. Dave is sitting there going, well, maybe WWE's partnering with TNA so that TNA could get the big TV contract in India and prevent AEW from getting it. Because in Dave's mind, this is a wrestling war. Dave, nobody's going to watch the shit anyways. Nobody's going to watch AEW anyways. Because the rest of the world can get online and see what the general, the general fan feedback is. And they're going to go, why are we going to watch this? Everybody else in the world hates it. There's only maybe 600 people tops that watch this show every week. NXT beat them again. Not by much, but they still beat them again. WWE's developmental territory is outdrawing AEW. And I know there's people out there that go, oh, this partnership makes TNA number 2. No, it doesn't. Until TNA could get off Access TV and get a better TV deal and better exposure, AEW is still number 2. I'll give them that much. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this, guys. I've been going for over 30 minutes now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Stupid comments, I don't have time for it. Don't even bother. Don't even bother calling me a sexist, racist pig for my thoughts on Tessa. Because I'll delete it. I'll fucking delete it, and I won't ever give you any time of day again. If you think I'm one of these guys that's going to go out and commit suicide based on what your little ass writes on a YouTube channel, you're wrong. So it has no effect on me whatsoever. Don't waste your time doing it. It'll just get deleted. Because nobody else wants to see that shit. We'll see you down the road.